So, my name is Emily Rose, and today I'm going to do a video talking about what to expect during your hospital interview. So, the first thing I want to talk about is the applying process. It can take months, it can take weeks, it can take days, and that's just depending on what your hospital is needing. So, for me, the hospital that I applied for, they needed a med-surg slash telemetry CNA, and so I applied for that position, and it took about a week for them to get to me because I applied on a weekend. So it took about a week. I got a call and they said, hey, I'm really interested in you working here, so let's set up an interview and we'll get along doing that. So set up an interview. I set it up on a Thursday. It was whenever I was off my other job that I was working, so we did that. And I went for the interview, and I made sure that I dressed nicely, not too nice. I didn't wear like a dress or anything. I wore a cardigan, a nice shirt, and some nice pants. And so we did that. I went in. I made sure that I showed up a little bit early, so I didn't want to be behind, and so I made sure I left the house like about 10 minutes early. And so that helped me a lot. So I waited a little bit. I went to the HR. That's usually where they'll have you head. The hospital is usually pretty big. So I went to HR, got checked in. The lady came back, and I was just like, make sure I was outgoing from the start. I wanted to leave a good impression because they look for people being outgoing. If you're not outgoing, they're not really going to be interested in you unless, you know, you're maybe shy at first and then outgoing later. For me, I try and be outgoing and just make sure I'm showing my true self. So when I got into the room, the lady I had was really nice. I got really good vibes from her, which is really important. If you do not get good vibes from people, I'm telling you, do not do it, because it can be a start of something bad. So she talked to me, asked me like, why do you think you'd be a good fit for the hospital? And I said, because I have this passion for helping people, and I've wanted to do it my whole life. So I made sure that I was honest about every question that she asked me, and it was just stuff like, how can you make our hospital better? What can you put towards this hospital? Things and questions like that. So they weren't hard questions. You shouldn't have to prepare for them, but if you do, you can always look it up. That's what I did. I looked up questions that I should expect, and honestly, on the list, there's not that many, because each person is different and each interviewer is different. For me, they only asked a little bit of questions, and then they asked me like, hey, where did you get your CNA license and all that stuff, and are you going to school, because they want people that are going to school to stay with them. So after that, she took me to the actual unit that I would be working in, which is really nice, because that's what I wanted to do. So after that, they showed me the nurse manager. She showed me like all the things that we would be doing, the schedule that would happen. So for us, I guess what our schedule is, we get to choose our own schedule. Like she said, your wants, hopes, and dreams, and hopefully you get it. So you put down what you would like to work, and not necessarily we always get that. So she told me about how many CNAs that they will have on the floor, and for me, I'll have 4 CNAs on my floor. And she told me about how many beds we have and all that. So that was really helpful to know. She said that we're really busy, but you will learn so much. I'm very excited to learn a lot. That's one thing that I really wanted to do, and why I wanted to get a hospital job, so I can learn and have that experience on my belt for when I apply for nursing school. So after that, I went home. I wasn't expecting a call for about 2 weeks, since that's what they said. They called me a couple hours later at like 1 o'clock, and they said that they would call me in like 2 weeks. So they called me. She said, hey, the nurse manager really was interested in you, and so she wanted me to go ahead and hire you. We still have to wait for the background check, but since you've worked multiple jobs, we are okay and assured that you probably don't have anything going on. So we did that. I called. She said, oh, hey, you're getting this amount of money per hour. and you're going to be working this time, 7 to 7, and it's going to be a full-time shift. So we're going to send you an email over about the interview and the steps that you need to do. So for me, the steps that I had to take were I had like 4 things on a checklist that I had to do within 1 to 2 business days, and it was on a weekend, so that wasn't crazy bad. I had to set up an appointment to get a drug test and a physical, and they paid for that. It was totally free, which is nice. And so I got that. It was really easy. They send you the closest place there that they work with, and then you don't have to go back until you have like a new hire meeting, which is what I had, like a new hire and like health meeting. So they told you about kind of what you're gonna learn at orientation, what to expect, what to wear. They told me about all the immunizations that I need, which is another point, that you should bring all that stuff with you. Or if you've ever had a TB skin test, they want the 2-step. If you've ever had like your flu shot this year, they want that. And then they want all your immunization records. So make sure you bring all of that. And they should tell you everything that you need to bring. So it could be more, it could be less. But for me, that's what I had to bring. And then they sent me over to get my badge photo taken. So I got that taken, and that was pretty easy. And then they told me everything that I would need to bring. And then after that, they sent me over to get my blood drawn in their lab that they have, just to test for some stuff that they needed to make sure my immunity was up or something like along the lines of that. So now I'm just waiting for next week to start my orientation, and then I'll do a video on what to expect at orientation because it's a lot of information. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribed, liked, and comment down below. Stay tuned for more videos from me. Thank you.